you and YouTube World can pause this. The one on your test will probably be bacterial growth because most animals don't actually grow exponentially. The rabbits in Australia, I made up the years, but that was exponential because they were new, so they grew without bound for a long time. Okay, that's real. They weren't supposed to be rabbits, and then there were. Okay, so we're going to assume exponential growth because rabbits, well, they reproduce like rabbits.
Who introduced them to Australia?
No, like people bring them over as pets and stuff, and they're just going wild. Like it's actually a problem because they eat the foliage and like what little there is in there. They don't want them, even though they're the least dangerous animal probably in Australia now. They're at least not poisonous
The
like anything else.
kangaroos.
Are poisonous?
Why?
No, they aren't poisonous. They're just extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna change this 1997. 1997 is going to be. We're going to think of that as our initial value, right? Well, whatever amount it was, like that itself isn't. How many years after 1997 is 2001? 4. So I'm going to set up my first equation as 4,000 equals whatever my initial was, e to the k. How many years was it after the start?
4.
Okay. So again, I take 2001 was 4 years because we're using the equation. Your initial e to the kt, right? T
Wait,
is in
so
time.
4 years in between 1997 and 2001?
Yep.
When did the 2004 come from?
Well, we're going to do that because we
Oh.
need 2 equations, you know. We need 2 equations to
Oh.
solve it. So the next equation is we're going to set 9,000. But this is going to be 7 years, right? 'Cause that's 7 years after. So we have 2 equations now, right? What in historically, there's more that you could use substitution if you want to or other ways, but I'm just going to suggest that you divide the 2 equations by each other because you can. So I'm going to divide them. So what's 4,000 divided by 9? 4 over 9. What happens to, what's y sub 0 divided by y sub 0? 1, so we don't worry about it. What's e to the 4k divided by e to the, well,
Can't you just subtract them?
yes, I'm going to write it out though once. That's not right. E's become 4s. All right. What's another way I could write that if they're dividing?
Oh, minus.
Yeah, you can just subtract your exponents. So I could rewrite this as e to the negative 3k.
You got 7 inches or 7 inches.
Yep. Because 97 is 0, times 0. So every year after we start with the countdown. Okay?
And then we have to bring it down because it's negative, right?
Well, you can solve it from here actually if you want. Do you guys want me to do it that way this
I
time?
don't know.
You guys want me to do it different? I can do it. It's actually less steps. I just don't like to think that way.
Do the easier way.
All right, this way is going to be the easier way. It's just that's not the way my brain works. Anytime I see like a negative exponent, I'm like, no. How do you get rid of e? All right. So natural log of 4. Oh, this isn't the way I did it in my notes. I did it the fancy way.
Freestyle.
I'm going. I'll see if I get the same answer. You get negative point, you will get the same answer. Because this is you get this equals negative 3k, right? So you divide by negative 3.
Just like the left again.
1 second. Hey, do you guys want me to give you a huge piece of advice? Don't listen if you're like an actual legit teacher or anything to this because it's not going to be right. Even if you mess up finding k with your signs, remember exponential growth, k is always
Positive.
positive. If you mess up, you'll just get the negative version. If you make it positive style, you'll probably be right. And with half-life, your k is always negative. I'm just telling you guys this because if you do kind of flip something around, you can usually still make it there. Just remember k is always positive for exponential growth. So I get my k equals 0.27031. I'm going to put, because it's a bunch of zeros after that. So yeah, it came out the same no matter which
Is that
way
the
you did it.
answer?
That's my k. I need to find y sub 0.
Dang it.
So, because I had 2 variables.
You put it in either
which equation do you guys want to use?
Then you
Bottom
do.
one.
Well, they're both. So I'm gonna plug this into my top equation to find my what. I want to know how many rabbits. Who's sabotaging this country with rabbits? Who's dropping off the rabbits and how many did they do? All right, so we set up 4,000 equals y sub 0 e to the 0.2703 times 4, right? Great. So we get 4,000 equals y sub 0 times, that's a number. Remember, that's some number. That's 2.948334. Because e to something is something. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2.
Wait, e to that is like.
Yep, that's this equals this number. When you divide each side by that, you get 1,356 rabbits. Hey, now read care. If you get a story problem like this on the AP test, you actually get 0.6 rabbits.
Yeah.
But most of the time when you deal with population, you always go to the nearest whole rabbit. Because you know what I'm saying, like with population, you don't round up. You usually go with, because you can't have 0.6 of a rabbit. Well, you can if you're eating some stew, you want to keep your pet alive. That's really gross. That's, no.
Have you ever had turtle soup?
No, I have not. I like turtles too much. No,
My
I.
mom was actually turtle soup. My dad had it a while ago.
Yeah, grease. Very good.